Hello everyone, welcome to the session. I am Srinivas Kanji, Assistant Professor of Physics, NG College, Nalgonda. So, today we are going to see few topics under the chapter of Mechanics of Rigid Body. So, let us see first torque. So, what is torque? See, there we are talking about rotating rigid body, right? So, what is torque here? The force applied on the body produces acceleration. See, generally, to move one body from one place to another place, what we have to do? We have to apply some force on the body. If you apply some force on the body, it produces acceleration by moving one point to another point, right? So the direction of acceleration is along the direction of force, right? We are applying force in this direction, body moves in this direction. So both are in the same direction. That is why we took their F is directly proportional to A, right? So that is in case of a body which is in translatory motion. But if you take a body which is in rotatory motion, for example, similarly, the torque applied on the body could produce angular acceleration. See, the torque applied on the body could produce angular acceleration. You know that torque can be represented by tau symbol, which produce angular acceleration. We know that how can we represent angular acceleration? In the previous class I have seen different relations. Angular acceleration is represented by alpha, right? Okay, now let us move on. If capital F is the force acting on the particle, then the torque on the particle is defined as vector cross product of position vector and the force. Now, what we are doing, we are acting some force F on the particle, then torque on the particle is defined as vector across product of position vector and the force. See in the picture given, tau equal to R bar cross F bar. Tau bar is equal to R bar cross F bar. Tau is equal to R bar cross F bar. See there. If you remove the cross product, what we get? Tau is equal to RF sin theta will get. Right? If you remove the cross product, we will get RF sin theta. So when we get maximum value, when the theta is equal to 90 degrees, we'll get maximum value. That means what happened? Now the torque acting on the body is perpendicular to the RF plane. See there, perpendicular to the RF plane, right? So tau equal to R bar cross F bar. So which is perpendicular to the RF plane, right? So next, where theta is the angle between force and position vector. If you take R cross F, if we remove the cross product, we will get tau is equal to RF sin theta, right? Where theta is what? Angle between force and position vector. See there, the direction of torque is normal to the plane having R and F. See, the direction of torque is normal to the plane having R and F. The dimensional formula for the torque is m1 L2 T minus 2. So it is well known that this dimensional formula is same for work and energy also, right? But torque not only depends upon the magnitude of force but also relative position of force with respect to origin. If the force is along the direction of R, no torque acts on the particle. See there, if the force is acting along the direction of R, then what happened? If R cross bar FR is equal to, R cross F is equal to what? R cross F is equal to what? RF sin theta. If R force is acting along the direction of radius vector R, then what happened? Then theta is equal to 0. Then the resultant torque acting on the particle is 0. Okay, so that is the case. Now, let us see one more thing here, angular momentum. We know that linear momentum, how can we write linear momentum? Linear momentum can be written as P is equal to mv, product of mass and its velocity. But how can we define angular momentum here? Angular momentum is a quantity in rotational motion comparable with a quantity linear momentum in translatory motion. See, for example, if P is a linear momentum, if P is a linear momentum and R is the position vector, if P is the linear momentum and R is the position vector, then the angular momentum is defined as vector cross product of position vector and linear momentum, where L bar equal to R bar cross P bar, where L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar. With the help of this equation, we'll get L is equal to I omega. Later we'll solve that equation, L equal to I omega, otherwise L equal to mr square omega, L is equal to mr square omega, otherwise L is equal to I omega, where I is nothing but inertia, moment of inertia. Okay, where I is nothing but moment of inertia. Later we'll solve this equation. Now here also angular momentum is a vector quantity. So it is also a vector quantity. The direction of angular momentum is normal to the plane having vector r and p. See there, the direction of angular momentum is normal to the plane vector r and p. See there, similarly all bar is equal to r cross p. L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar. That means if you remove the cross product, what we get there in this case? Sin theta. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, then we'll get L maximum. So therefore, the direction of angular momentum is normal to the plane having vectors R and P. Now, see one more relation. We have to derive this one. First initial, let us see this one. Relation between torque and angular momentum. What is the relation between torque and angular momentum? Tau is equal to dl bar by dt. Tau bar is equal to dl bar by dt. It implies that rate of change of angular momentum is equal to torque. See there, tau bar is equal to dl bar by dt. It also implies that rate of change of angular momentum is equal to the torque. Now we are going to derive this equation in this class. And also we have rotational kinetic energy. So rotational kinetic energy of the rigid body can be written as K is equal to half I omega square. Then what is I? Moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. What is omega there? Omega is the angular velocity of rotating rigid body. So now in this session we are going to derive. So L is equal to I omega. L is equal to I omega. And also one more thing is the relation between torque and angular momentum. We are going to derive this one. And also rotational kinetic energy, K is equal to half I omega square. These three equations we are going to derive in this class. Okay, let us see one by one. Okay. Okay, let us make a relation between torque and angular momentum. So we have to establish a relation between torque and angular momentum. So let us see how can we derive that equation here. Okay, right. Initially let's take Newton's second law, F bar equal to rate of change of momentum, dp bar by dt, right? Dp bar by dt, rate of change of momentum. Okay, now let us take on both sides, let us apply R bar curl on both sides. R bar curl. So R bar curl F bar, so that equal to R bar cross dp bar by dt. R bar cross dp bar by dt. Now, so we know that according to the torque definition, R cross F can be written as tau is equal to R bar cross dp bar by dt, right? R bar cross dp bar by dt. We know this one. Next, so we know that angular momentum can be defined as L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar, R cross P. L equal to R cross P is nothing but angular momentum. Now let us differentiate this equation. Assume this is equation number 1. Now differentiate this equation. So what we get with respect to t, then we'll get d L bar by dt. So that equal to d L bar by dt, that equal to d by dt of R bar cross P bar. Okay. Now, so d by dt A cross B. See how can we solve this one? So this can also be written as here d R bar by dt cross P bar plus R cross into dP bar by dt. Okay. Now let us see how can we write here dr by dt is nothing but what? Rate of change of displacement is called velocity. Then we can write here v bar cross, how can we write p? P can be written as momentum, linear momentum, mv bar, so plus r bar cross dp bar by dt, right? Okay. Then so here it is dl bar by dt. Okay. Now see here r bar cross r bar, it will be 0. Okay. Vector product of two vectors, cross product of two vectors will be 0. Then it will become 0. Then what we get finally? dl bar by dt. So we'll get r bar cross dp bar by dt. Okay, so assume this is equation number 2. Equation number 2. From equation 1 and 2, from equation 1 and 2, we have tau is equal to, let us equate these two equations, 1 equal to 2. 1 equal to 2, we'll get tau is equal to, so dl bar by dt. So this is our required equation, the relation between torque and angular momentum. So torque equal to rate of change of angular momentum, just like similar to F bar is equal to dp bar by dt, that is in case of linear motion, force acting on the body is equal to rate of change of momentum. Right? In this case, torque applied on the object, on the particle, is equal to the rate of change of its angular momentum. Rate of change of its angular momentum. So in this way, we'll establish the relation between torque and angular momentum L bar. Now let us see again what is angular momentum. Let us see what is angular momentum. How can we get L bar value? Okay, let us see here. Now our aim is we have to derive L is equal to I omega. This equation. We are going to derive L is equal to I omega. Product of inertia and whose angular velocity. Now for this, what we have to do? We have to take a rigid body. We have to take a rigid body in which what I am doing, I am assuming one particle P. Okay, here it is R bar. The distance from origin to point is R bar. See here in this case, now which is circulating around the z axis, and also the linear velocity is acting exactly perpendicular to the OP direction. That means this direction, linear velocity. So that can be written as V bar. Okay, V bar. Now angular velocity is, this object is circulating, rotating around z axis. Here it is z, and here you have to take x, y, z axis. Okay, now see here what I am doing. How can I establish this relation. So initially linear momentum. How can we write linear momentum? P equal to P can be written as mv. Linear momentum P can be written as mv, where m is mass of particle and v is the linear velocity, which is exactly perpendicular to the OP vector. Okay, mv, P equal to mv. So what is the relation between v and omega? Assume this is equation 1. And what is the relation between v and omega? The relation between them is v equal to r omega. Linear velocity equal to product of r bar and angular velocity. Okay, substitute in above equation. Then we'll get, here you have to take bar, no problem. Substituting, we'll get P is equal to what we get, m cross r omega. M cross r omega will get there. Okay. Now already we got one equation. How can we define angular momentum? L bar is nothing but cross product of vector and it's a linear momentum. That is that r cross, what is that? R bar cross P bar. 2, 3. Okay, substitute 2 in 3. Then what we get finally? L bar is equal to R bar cross and P bar. What is P bar? M into R bar omega. Okay, so then multiplying, what we get here finally, L bar is equal to will get m r square omega. This is also one equation. L bar is equal to m r square omega. And again this can also be written as, see there, this is the angular momentum of one particle, right, whose mass is m and whose radius is r bar from the O. Now, but if you take many number of particles, rigid body is nothing but composition of many number of particles. For example, so many particles are there, but here how can we take that one? For example, here it is P, one particle, and here we have to take P2 particle, here we have to take P3 particles. So many particles are there. For in this case, then the total angular momentum can be taken as L bar. L bar is equal to summation, we have to take sum of all angular momentas, summation m r square omega, where angular velocity is constant. So write that outside and we'll get summation m r square. Then finally what we get, L bar is equal to omega into, this can be written as I. So finally L bar is equal to I omega. What is I there? Which is inertia, where I is called inertia. Okay, so here inertia of the body about the axis of rotation. The moment of inertia of the body about the axis of rotation is L bar is equal to I omega. Thus the angular momentum of rigid body about an axis is the product of moment of inertia and also angular velocity of the body about that axis. See there, how can we take angular momentum of rigid body is the product of moment of inertia I and also angular velocity which is rotating about an axis. Okay, so L bar is equal to I omega. In this way we will derive this equation, L is equal to I omega. So this is what tau is equal to dl bar by dt. We got two important relations. Now let us see one more thing. Now we have to see kinetic energy of a rotating body. Kinetic energy of a rotating body. Kinetic energy of a rotating body. So we know that when the body is in translatory motion, it has kinetic energy, right? So for example, when the body is in translatory motion, whose kinetic energy, body or particle kinetic energy is of mv square, right? Of mv square. So what is m? Mass of the particle or body. What is v? Mass of the particle or velocity of the particle or velocity of the body. This is if the body or particle is in translatory motion. But if the body is in rotatory motion, what happened? Let us see. If the body is rotatory motion, let us take xyz axis here. Okay, x y z axis. Now I am taking rigid body. Now let us assume here p1 particle, which is r1 distance from origin. Okay, now here it has a linear velocity which is perpendicular to the OP direction. Okay, now so from this picture, now the kinetic energy of this particle, can be written as, how can we write kinetic energy of first particle? For example, kinetic energy of P1 particle can be written as of m1 v1 square. Okay, of m1 v1 square. Now here the rigid body is rotating about a fixed axis, z axis. Okay, remember that one. So of m1 v1 square. But here in this case, v1 equal to, what is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? V equal to r omega. So v1 is equal to r1 omega here. See where r1 is variable but omega is fixed, because the angular momentum of whole body is constant. Sorry, angular velocity of all particles is same, constant. So v1 equal to r1 omega. So similarly, let us assume one more particle here. I am assuming P2 particle, which is R2 distance from the origin. So in this case, kinetic energy of P2 particle, So how can we get P2 particle is of m2 v2 square. Here v2 is equal to r2 omega. Okay, r2 omega. So similarly, so here you have to take r3 particle or p3 particle. For p3 particle, what I am doing, I am assuming p3 particle r3 distance. So here we get of m3 v3 square. Here v3 is equal to r3 omega. Let us take total kinetic energy, sum of all kinetic energy. The kinetic energy of the rotating body is given by. So total kinetic energy is addition of all these kinetic energies of m1 v1 square plus of m2 v2 square plus of m3 v3 square dash dash dash. Let us substitute these values. V1 equal to r1 omega and v2 is equal to r2 omega and v3 is equal to r3 omega in this equation. So what we get here? So 1 by 2 m1 v1 square is nothing but r1 square omega square plus m3 okay, r3 square, sorry, r2 square omega 2 square, here it is m2 plus 1 by 3 m3 and here it is r3 square omega square dash dash dash. Okay, now so what we have to do here, let us take off omega square common, then we'll get m1 r square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square dash dash dash. Okay, now so this can also be written as summation 1 by 2 omega square. This whole term can also be written as summation mr square, So finally we'll write 1 by 2 Here this term can be represented by I, then we'll get I omega square. So finally we'll have T equal to 1 by 2 I omega square. So this is our required function. This is the total kinetic energy of a rotating rigid body. Total kinetic energy of a rotating rigid body, rotating body. Okay, where I is what? Where I is nothing but inertia, moment of inertia. I can be written as I is equal to summation m r square. I is equal to summation, so m r square. Okay, m r square, moment of inertia of body about the axis of rotation. The moment of inertia of a body about an axis, the moment of inertia of a body about an axis is defined as the sum of the products of the masses of individual particles and the squares of the distances of the respective particles from the axis of rotation. So hence the total kinetic energy of rotating body is how much? T is equal to half I omega square. But in case of linear motion, generally comparing to this one, in case of linear motion, this is what rotating. In case of translatory motion, the kinetic energy of body is of mv square. So comparing these two equations, see there, in rotatory motion, so where m is replaced by I, right? Where m is replaced by I, where v is where linear velocity is replaced by angular velocity when the body is rotating about the axis. Okay, so in this case kinetic energy of rotating body is half I omega square, and the kinetic energy of body which is in translatory motion is of mv square. So this is our required equation. Okay, then okay, it's enough.